Sizzle stir and chocolate flare, fresh ingredients, love in the air. Nourish your body, feel so fine. Healthy living every time.
Welcome to Dancing in the Kitchen, a cooking show with a twist. I am your host, Hannah Romanowski. Today, we are blending indulgence, beauty, joy in a way that nourishes the soul. We're delving into the world of chocolate, rich and decadent. We're pairing it with the elegance of roses, the ultimate symbol of love and self-care. And just when you thought it couldn't get any sweeter, we are sprinkling in some laughter yoga to bring more joy into the mix, because nothing warms the heart like a good laugh. Together, we'll explore how chocolate can be both indulgent and nourishing, how roses elevate your sense and your mood with their delicate flavor, and how moments of laughter can turn any meal into a celebration. You are going to learn so much about chocolate in this episode when we bring on our guest. But first, let's talk about the other gift, roses. Why are roses symbolic of love? Roses have been celebrated as a symbol of love and romance for centuries. Their rich history is rooted in mythology and tradition. In ancient Greece and Rome, roses were linked to Aphrodite and Venus, the goddesses of love and beauty, representing passion and devotion. During the Middle Ages, roses adorned romantic literature and courtly rituals and were a symbol of deep affection. The red rose, in particular, came to symbolize eternal love, with its velvety rose petals and intoxicating fragrance. And today, roses continue to speak the language of love, inspired by poets, artists, and of course, cooks, to infuse beauty into life's most meaningful moments. I love Persian cuisine, and roses, the flavor of roses, are a big part of food from that culture, and have a long history of symbolic meaning. Rose water is known for soothing properties that help to reduce redness and hydrate the skin and calm the mind with its delicate aroma. I know, right? And rose oil extracted from rose petals has a potent anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects, making it a natural skin remedy for skin irritation and a powerful mood booster. So you can put oil on top of your ears, for example, and the base of your neck, or other parts, to experience that intoxicating and calming feeling that comes. And I'm sure there's something really witty I could say about a rose by any other name, but at the moment. In this box lies more than a spice. It holds a story, a rhythm, a taste of a faraway land. When I open it, the air will fill with its song, its aroma, and the secrets it's carried through the centuries. Are you ready to join me in the dance of the spice box? Let us begin. Today, let us explore the fascinating world of cardamom. Cardamom originated in the lush forests of India and Sri Lanka, mentioned in ancient Ayurvedic texts over 4,000 years ago. It was used for healing and rituals. From India, it traveled the spice routes to the Middle East and Europe, becoming a symbol of luxury. and wellness. Even today, cardamom's influence spans cultures. It's essential in Indian chai, Middle Eastern sweets, and Scandinavian pastries. Cardamom isn't just flavorful, it's a powerhouse of health benefits. It's a digestive aid used in Ayurveda to ease indigestion, bloating, and nausea. It's rich in antioxidants, protects against cell damage. Cardamom is great for oral health. It freshens breath naturally and fights bacteria. It supports heart health, lowering blood pressure and cholesterol. Cardamom is a mood booster. Its warm aroma reduces stress and anxiety. It's a respiratory relief, easing coughs and congestion. Cardamom provides blood sugar regulation and may improve insulin sensitivity. Incorporating cardamom into your life is simple. Add a pinch to your morning tea, coffee, or oatmeal. Use it in baking for cakes and cookies. Toss whole pods into rice or stews. Create a soothing cardamom infused tea for relaxation. Cardamom is more than a spice. It's a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern wellness. So next time you savor its sweet, spicy aroma, remember the history and health benefits packed in that little pod. And now, a word from our sponsor. I would like to welcome our wonderful guest today, Mena Borges Gillette. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Mena is a holistic practitioner and educator and a certified laughter yoga leader. She's a Jill of many holistic trades. Not only is she a homeschooling mama of 4 amazing girls, and they are because I've met them, she's also a professor with a special interest in the history of chocolate and a passion for nature-based, toxic-free living. Mena has authored Theobroma Cacao. Did I say that right?
I'm sorry.
Theobroma Cacao, an illustrated guide to all things chocolate, which covers the history of chocolate, cacao's dietary and herbal benefits, and more. She also authored 2 amazing cookbooks, one on chocolate, our favorite topic of the day, and the other is gluten-free comfort foods for nutritional density. I love that. And also a poetry collection entitled Solitudes.
Saudade of a Nightingale.
I'm really failing with the pronunciation today.
We're okay.
Say it again.
Saudade of a Nightingale.
Beautiful. And I have very exciting news. Mena is host of the upcoming show Rooted in Wellness with Mena. Tell us about your show.
So it incorporates not only holistic living, chocolate, but also mom life, because I've brought my daughters in as little actresses to enact some parts that will be related to literary tales or movies. So It's a lot of fun.
That sounds like such fun. And where can we access it?
It'll be coming on Roku, and
shall people go to your website to learn
sure,
more?
Yes. They could definitely go to my website. It's Rooted in Wellness with Mena or Holistic Wellness with Mena.
Okay, fantastic, wonderful. So Mena, we are going to get to cooking some amazing, delicious chocolate treats. But before that, I'd love to explore one of your other many specialties, and that is laughter yoga. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So laughter yoga began in about 1995 with Dr. Kataria in India. He was a medical doctor going to a conference, and he'd been researching the health effects of laughter on people's well-being. And he decided to go to a park one day, gathered some friends, and they were telling jokes. And so they did this every morning, and the purpose was to laugh. At the end of the week, they realized they were out of jokes. And his friends were like, well, what do we do now? And he said, well, don't worry, just come tomorrow, and I'm going to give you, we'll have something to do. Okay. So he goes home and he talks to his wife, who happens to be a yoga instructor. And they started talking about laughter and the yogic breath, and they realized that there's a cross section. So when we laugh, we have a yogic type breath. So he went and they started doing exercises just to laugh for laughter's sake. And so that's what we do as certified laughter yoga leaders or teachers or masters. So it is laughing for the sake of laughter. There's no judgment, and you're in a safe space. So we don't laugh, in my sessions, we don't laugh at each other. We laugh with each other.
Of course.
Okay. So no judgment, and you just laugh. So one of the things that happens with laughter yoga is we have a rhythm. So we could start a little bit with some clapping.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we usually do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Those are the chanting parts. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. We're going to faster. Ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Very good, very good. Yay! So that's our first exercise.
I love it. I'm having fun already.
And every session is different, and we do different things. So we can do shy laughter if we want. You want to try that?
I do. I want to try it.
Key components of laughter yoga, we do eye contact because it's a communal experience. So.
I love that.
So we often stretch when we're tired. Are you tired yet? Or should we do another one? We could do another
my
one.
flower might fall out of my hair. Will you demonstrate?
Yeah, so
okay.
After we do some exercise, we should feel our cheeks a little bit sore. Sometimes our throat gets a little sore.
I already feel sore.
And our belly should really get some of that soreness. And so sometimes what we want to do is just kind of bend over at the waist a little. Taking a deep breath as we come up, reaching for the sky. And could bring into Namaste.
Namaste.
And, you know, this is just a brief introduction to it, but in a normal session, you would take 20 minutes maybe in doing exercises, and then you get 20 minutes of laughter. It has amazing health benefits with all the endorphins, and you feel good after. And if anybody's been a runner and dance as well, I'm sure, with you. You feel that endorphin high?
Well, I'm feeling it right
feeling
now,
right now,
and in fact, like, I want more.
Okay, so do
Let's do one more.
Do you know Woody Woodpecker?
Yeah.
Do you know his laugh?
Oh.
Do you know Ace Ventura's laugh?
Ace Ventura's laugh. No.
No? Anybody? Or any Jim Carrey?
The audience? Yeah. Oh.
Yay!
Okay. Thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
That is so much fun. Do you teach laughter yoga here?
I do. I do
Okay.
teach it in the community. I've taught at the collegiate level, but usually I do private sessions. Not private, they're in a public space, but it's small session laughter yoga.
Oh,
And I love to do it
you.
with
I love
moms
that.
because moms have all kinds of things to laugh about.
Oh, sure. I imagine.
Yeah, we do mom laughing at kids scenarios. So,
Oh.
you know, because kids can have funny
Kids are
scenarios,
kinda
just
funny.
like pets too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that
You're
with
welcome.
us.
Thank you for
Yes.
participating with me.
My pleasure. Anytime you need. I'm always down for a good laugh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's so good for your heart,
It
right?
absolutely is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Now there are some cautions, and somebody who's had cardiac difficulty or a heart attack, that would be an example. You have to get clearance through your doctor before participating in it. We all laugh, and it's a universal language. It's the first language that children speak. We all understand each other, but there are certain times where it's not appropriate. So within 2 to 3 months of a surgery, or having, if a woman is pregnant and has the chance of having a miscarriage or history of it, then they would want clearance with their doctors. But other than that, it's amazing for your heart.
Okay, other than that, laugh away. Yeah, fantastic. Well, what else are we going to do today? There's so much fun we can have together.
Yep, we're going to start talking about roses, right?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's talk roses.
So as an herbalist, for me, roses are amazing because we have all kinds of healing properties. So we have a deconstructed rose right here. The roses that we have these days have a lot of petals. The traditional wild rose that hasn't been hybridized only has 5 petals. So
Only 5?
yeah, only 5.
Wow.
And in the rose family, we've got pear, apple, almond, raspberry, blueberry, or not blueberry, blackberry, and strawberry. So if you look at any of those blossoms, you're only going to find 5 petals. And if you see a rose in the wild, it has 5 petals. So once the petals come off, though, right before and it depends on the region where you are, but usually what you want to do is the rose hip will toward the first frost. That's when we would harvest it. It's a vitamin C rich. It's an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, astringent as well. So this is the rose hip, and what we're doing right now. Now this one is a commercial one. I don't advise using a commercial rose because we don't know what's been put on it or whatever to preserve at a florist. So we want wild or grown traditional. They're called wild roses. What we have here is rosehip powder, and I've got a medicinal honey, so it's really thickened because I'm probably going to end up just using my fingers.
Oh, let me get you more honey.
So I have a confession to make.
What's that?
Well, I am an herbalist and I make all kinds of remedies.
Oh.
But when it comes to pastilles, one of my daughters is really good at it because she has the patience to sit here and massage the rosehip powder into the honey. And so I often will assign her that her job. And so basically this is what do you want to do this?
I could do it.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're massaging, and there's no recipe really. We just put the rosehip powder together with the honey, and we want to use a raw honey preferably because then that has the more beneficial properties, right? And so if you could just start to massage it in.
Yeah.
I make big ones. My daughter makes small ones. So you
Like
just
this.
go, when it's sticking too much to you, you want to get a little bit more of the powder in. And then we can make them as small or as big as we want.
Do we still need the spoon?
No.
Okay.
Now that we've got our hands dirty.
Okay. There we go. And then we go like this.
Yep.
How
And so
sweet.
what we like about this is it's a natural way to get vitamin C. It's so that's the antioxidant there, but it's also anti-inflammatory. It's also astringent. So if we have a wet condition, we would use an astringent herb. And this is great for getting your vitamin C without worrying about any, capsules or pills at the pharmacy. And we're getting a biodynamic vitamin C versus a very, isolated vitamin C. With this, we're also getting the benefit of the honey. So often what we do is use this for when we have an illness like a cold or a flu. And they keep as long as, they're honey. So you want to make sure they're still smelling fresh. You can refrigerate them if you want. In my house, they never really make it very far.
I bet not.
So they're sweet because of the honey, but then you also have a little bit of the crunch of the rose hip powder. So did you want to try one?
I would love to. Okay. Oh,
They're sticking. Usually I use parchment paper, so.
Okay. Cheers. That's really nice. It reminds me of bee pollen because you have that
the texture.
the texture, because obviously there's honey, but there's there's that
Yeah.
rose and just more different complexity, and then you have that texture.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we are going to be doing some molding of chocolate and stuff, but we could use this as a filling of a truffle if you wanted.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, though maybe we should share some
Yep.
with our guests here. Yeah? Okay, and then we're going to wash our hands and move on to some chocolate fun.
Yeah.
Mena, you are a chocolate expert, and I'm so excited to have you here sharing all your knowledge about chocolate and this wonderful truffle, this wonderful dessert that we're going to make.
So what we're doing is we're going to be making a cookie dough to make the center of the truffle, and I'm going to show 2 ways to do that.
Okay.
But first we'll make the cookie dough. So I'm using almond flour for its nutrient density, and also for those of us who are gluten-free, this is a great option. If someone is not gluten-free or wanted to do this with not nuts, you could use it with sunflower seeds if you wanted to do a sunflower seed flour. You could probably also do it Sasha Incha seeds. It would give it a peanutty flavor.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I jumped the gun. We're just going to throw it all in. I usually put the liquids in first, but we'll just go.
Gotcha. So we have the almond flour, we have
got some honey. Yeah. And then today, because we're talking about roses, I'm going to use rose water as one of our flavorings. So you can use coconut oil or you can use palm. Today I'm using palm because it's sometimes a little bit softer to work with and you don't have to heat it up, but we'll see because today is a little chilly. So just
I don't work with palm oil hardly at all.
Yeah.
So like, what are its uses? What do you like to?
You can use it in the place of butter. So at home, I have 2 little ones who are dairy allergic, so we use it in place of butter. Okay. And then here I have a little bit of sea salt that I put in with a vanilla glycerite that I made at home instead of using.
And what is vanilla glyceride?
So you use glycerin and water to make it just like an extract, except we're doing it because this is raw, and if we were serving this to a child, we wouldn't necessarily want to give them an extract that has an alcohol in it. So I use glycerite. And then here's the rose water that I've measured out. And then we're just gonna manually blend this together until we get a cookie dough consistency.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to put some muscle into it.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Make me feel useful here.
And what we're gonna do for flavoring, here we've got some lavender buds, and we're gonna mix that with rose. It's gonna be a lovely combination, and we're also gonna separate the dough into 2. So I've got another bowl for that, and we've got bilberry, which is an antioxidant-rich herb that we use, and it's got an affinity for the eyes. In World War II, actually, they discovered they didn't have, had some shortages, but in England they were eating bilberries, and the pilots said that their night vision improved. And so then we've had scientific studies since that show that it has an affinity for the eyes. So I love that as an herb for that.
I'm still working on this.
Still working. That's good.
Yeah.
What we're going to end up doing is we're going to make little balls of 2 different sizes with that after we've put our inclusions. But look.
I kind of want to just get my hands in there. Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. When I'm at home, I like to use the food processor. It makes it faster.
Gotcha.
I also, again, my kids are always in the kitchen, so I have one who's more patient, and she'll just mix it for a long time, and we get it super smooth.
Okay. It's like Play-Doh.
It is. And again, if you don't have a dairy allergy, you can definitely do butter, just like you would.
I can make Play-Doh shapes.
And it should feel a little bit sticky with the honey. And if we want to put half of that in here and half over there, then we'll put some lavender in one bowl. We'll put the bilberry in here.
Yum. Okay. And voila.
All right.
Yeah?
And now we'll put the bilberry here. We'll put the lavender there. You don't have to use all of it, but if you want to make it super rich, we can. I would keep your hands dirty.
I'm going to wash. Keep them dirty?
Yeah, because we're going to mix this in. And then
like half of it? You
Yeah,
said?
probably.
Okay.
Depends on how strong you want for the lavender.
I like a lot of lavender.
All right.
Yeah.
And so the bilberry is kind of functioning like a chocolate chip would.
Oh.
So I just throw it in. So
okay.
that's how I approach herbs in my cookie dough.
Yeah.
Because I just toss them in if I think it'll taste good.
Uh-huh.
So what we have is, depending on who you ask, rose is considered an aphrodisiac. So I don't know so much if we herbalists would say that that's in fact true by eating it, but when we smell it, we have these feelings that come out with rose. So can you smell the rose a little bit? I'm smelling a lot of the almond, but
I'm smelling
we're
the
gonna have
lavender.
layers. Yeah, you are.
But there's honey, there's almond, there's rose.
An almond is still a rose
And almond is a rose.
in the rose family, so
Yeah.
it's apropos.
Okay. Dancing in the Kitchen is filmed in an actual ballroom studio, Hidden City Ballroom in Point Richmond. It's in a 100-year-old converted church. It's so gorgeous. This is really my happy place. I love it because while we're here in the kitchen, there are literally dancers dancing out here in the sanctuary. Da, 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 da. So if you hear the tapping of feet in the background, just know there's dancers dancing by.
So we have in our melting pot chocolate,
Okay.
and I chose a raw chocolate for today that's sweetened with maple syrup.
Ooh,
So I've already put a little bit of chocolate in here, but I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then we're
Okay.
going to paint it. So we take our saucier,
that's the saucier.
and we're going to put in the chocolate. Now we can do a messy way, which is just you put it in and then, move the chocolate around and dump it out. We're going to do it kind of a conservative way.
Okay. That did sound messy, whatever you said.
It is, and when you have a bigger space, it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit in. And we're going to put let's see,
Should I do something?
in a sec. I'm going to show you how
Okay.
to do it. I'm just putting it in.
All right.
Okay, so we have a rose mold today.
Oh, how sweet.
And then we have a different flower.
Oh.
So let's put the lavender one in here when we're ready.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give you a culinary brush.
Oh,
And what we're going to
a
do,
culinary brush.
we're going to brush it up against the sides.
Okay.
And what we want to do is to get the whole wall, get a layer of the chocolate there. You don't want any holes because then our
Alright.
truffle will come apart.
Okay. So you want to get the chocolate all the way at the side
Yeah.
of the mold. Okay.
Now, if we wanted to do it rustic style, you could just put chocolate layer on the bottom, put your cookie dough in the middle, and then top it with some chocolate on top.
All
We're going to try to do a formed one.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put that there for now. And
Chocolate art.
exactly.
love this.
Yes. So the next step, if you want to roll a little bit of the lavender balls in about this
Alright.
size.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of like the rose pastel
Y-
pastels.
Yeah, and then we're going to shape them in here. Now we have these rows already done.
Okay.
So we're just going to put it in there. And this will be the same kind of technique if you're doing
Do I put them in here?
go ahead and put it there.
Okay.
What we want is this to be solid. It's not solid yet. So
I
that-
see.
We'll wait a little bit on that. But
I see.
this would be
Okay.
the same technique if we did a nut or seed butter cup.
And we just flatten it a little bit in there.
I like to flatten it, yeah. And then what we're going to do,
Oh, how sweet.
the next step is to put more chocolate on top.
Of course.
And I'm a messy chocolatier, so it gets all over. But once it dries, you could still eat it.
A messy chocolatier. Yes. All right. I'll-
Okay,
I'll wait
so
till
we'll
you're done with
We'll
that.
do that. And then really important thing when we are doing confections and molds is we want to tap the air out.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we get the chocolate to move about and get into the crevices.
All right. Oops. We're making a mess.
And so what
Wow.
can happen is you don't have enough chocolate in there, so you still see the filling. So I'm going to put in some more once Hannah taps hers.
Okay. Tap, 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 tap.
And when you, if you've ever watched a documentary on chocolate confection making, you see the lines will kind of move, like they shake, and that's what they're doing. They're getting the air
Oh,
pockets
gotcha.
out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to be messy with it today, and that's
Yes.
fine. So that's that technique, and in a sec we can pop out a mold that we've already made.
All right.
But I wanted to show you, if you don't have the fancy equipment, how to
Yes.
do it. So if you want to make some
Sure.
little dough balls, so
Okay.
you can make whatever size you want. I'm using a little cookie dough ball scooper or ice cream
Right.
scooper, whatever we call that. And then we've got this amazing little tool. We don't have to use this one. You can use you can use this one, and I can show you both ways.
Okay.
So first, let's do a Buckeye style.
A Buckeye style. Okay.
So
It's kind of like a fondue. It's a fondue.
that one
stick,
is.
chocolate.
This one
Okay.
isn't. Yeah.
Should I use this one and do
Yeah,
the
you
same?
can.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of just putting it around. This one's going to be very messy.
Oh, all right.
And you can be artistic. Okay, this
Okay.
one's so messy. We're
And you
just going to
can-
let it be.
And you can say, I meant to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you can flip it over and hide your mistake.
Oh.
And then I'll just drizzle a little bit on top. Nobody will know more any better.
I love that.
Okay, and then I like to put a little bit of what's inside on top, just to be a way to show that it's a cookie dough truffle with bilberry.
Mm-hmm.
The other option,
Okay.
if you do have this little tool, you put your little, I'm gonna round the balls out a little bit better, the cookie dough balls.
Oh, just like,
that
you
working?
know, with a fondue pot and you lose your
Yep.
bread or your. Anyway, there we go.
And then this one, I'll be able to shake off the excess, which is nice. So then I just
Oh, okay.
put it on top, or we could put it all the way down, whatever way you can play with it inside.
Your kids are so lucky. Seriously, what fun.
Well, you know, we have lots of allergies in the house, and often I get asked, what do you do for Halloween or Valentine's Day or whatever holiday it is? And I say, well, we
Yeah.
make chocolate. So they know how to make it at home, and we have different pots for it. So I've shaken this off. I'm gonna put that there and top it off with a little bit of the bilberry.
That's
If
so
we wanna put a
sweet.
little
Oh, I
lavender,
should have put a little
and we
lavender.
can hide the hole if
Oh,
we
oh,
want.
there we go. Right, because I made a hole with my fondue stick.
Yep.
That's very
And there
sweet.
we go. And that's basically the two different techniques. Now, what we can do
Let's
is
make more.
Yeah, we can, absolutely. Shall I pop some of these out?
Pop some of those out, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and make another one.
Okay. And these ones are ready, so these are already dry. If you're seeing these at home.
Oh,
They're totally
beautiful.
messy, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we're okay with that. Yeah, and how can people find this recipe?
Actually, it's in my book.
Oh,
In the Theobroma Cacao, I also have.
the Abroma cacao.
Yes.
Yes.
I do also have, so we have the little rose ones.
Oh, wow, that's so sweet. Look at that. I mean,
So-
that looks so professional.
Right.
Right.
And so we can do them like this, which is, just kind of messy at home. But if we want to be cute and make a Valentine's box for our friends,
those
that
are
is an option.
That is so sweet.
And then just pop right out, because I like to use the silicone versus, I don't like to use plastic ones. They break all the time. They have the toxins. This is European grade silicone.
Okay.
So, and the chocolate's not that hot, but if it were hot, I wouldn't want it touching the plastic. So
Yeah. Yeah. So these you could do it without the chocolate too.
yeah, you could eat it with just, you could eat a
It's
cookie
like
dough.
cookie dough. It's
Yep.
just healthy cookie dough.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And no worries about anything raw or not, because it's all healthy
Right.
ingredients that aren't going to go bad.
That's terrific. Thank you so much for showing us
welcome.
this. This is such a beautiful thing to do for ourselves. If you want to give yourself a Valentine's Day treat or your loved ones, is to make these delicious little chocolate truffles.
Have a Galentine's party,
Have a Galentine's party. Yeah,
and then make your own chocolates.
love it.
Did you want to try one?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, so these are all bilberry. We didn't make the lavender earlier, so you're gonna have to wait for those to
Okay.
solidify. But
Okay.
do you want to try one of the pretty ones?
I sure do. I'm going to try one of these. Oh, it's so good. It's just like a little bit of heaven. Whoa, chocolate heaven. The bilberries give it like a chewy.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed that.
C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, on allait danser toute la soirée. La valse musette, des balades au canal en revenant du bal pour boire un godet dans un petit troquet ou bien une guinguette. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, il y avait des gamins, des petits gavroches, les mains dans les poches, le béret sur la tête, ils marchent en sifflant ou à bicyclette à Ménilmontant. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, c'était le bon temps. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, on allait danser toute la soirée. La valse musette, des balades au canal en revenant du bal pour boire un godet dans un petit troquet ou bien une guinguette. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, il y avait des gamins, des petits gavroches, les mains dans les poches, le béret sur la tête, ils marchent en sifflant ou à bicyclette à Ménilmontant. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, dans le palais d'antan. C'était le bon temps dans le palais d'antan, c'était le bon temps.
So this is very exciting. We're going to do our raffle now.
Yeah.
And I have a number, and it's a very special number. It's 14250. Come on down! Yay! What does Vanessa win?
You've got my book here, and it has the history of chocolate and all kinds of nutrition and herb information. It has pictures that my daughters help with, and so there you are.
Excited.
Oh,
So
you're
much.
welcome.
So nice to meet
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. And for those watching from home, where can people get this amazing book?
So you can either order it on my contacting me and support me, the artist or the author.
That's a really
or
great idea.
It's also on Amazon, so you can get it there. Just look up my name.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I wanted to know, what is the strangest ingredient you've ever cooked with?
So
Unusual.
my mom, when I was growing up, used to always say, in the kitchen, experiment with everything. So that's something that I've tried to do. And I think one of the oddest combinations, I don't know if it's the oddest ingredient, is that there is a salmon that is smoked with maple. And it's a jerky. And I've put it in fondue.
Wow.
Because people do bacon, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, let's see what salmon jerky tastes like. And it's actually really nice with the dynamic
bet.
explosion of flavors, because you don't think that salmon's going to go with chocolate, but the sweetness with the maple, they complement each other. So it's just kind of a different way to approach fondue.
Wow, that is very unusual indeed. I think absolutely. Well, you
should
do.
try it.
You have the salty. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have you come back and we can do salmon maple fondue with
Yeah.
chocolate.
We could just do all kinds of fondue different. differences.
Yeah. The audience's eyes are really wide right now. It's like, oh, my favorite things.
If it tastes good, put it in some fondue and see what you think.
I love it. And if it tastes good, put it in chocolate.
That's true too.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever met anything that didn't go well with chocolate.
Well, there you go.
I probably have one thing here and there, but
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
What's do you have a favorite memory of the kitchen or cooking?
I have lots and lots because my mom and my paternal grandmother were kitchen ladies. But one of my favorite things that happened in a kitchen for me all the time, we're from the Azores Islands, and we have this dessert called the spes.
The spes.
And that means spices. So
Okay.
it has a pastry dough on the outside, and in the inside it has a brown dough that has anise and pepper and spicy flavors with cinnamon as well. So it's just delicious. But my grandmother was very, very finicky about making it and making it look pretty. So when she made it, she would set aside the good ones, what she thought was up to par,
Right.
and put the not so good ones she called ugly to the side in a little canister.
For the kids.
And when the grandkids came over, she would say, "Come here." And she'd take us to the side of the kitchen and try to hide it from our parents. But I'm sure our parents knew what was going on. And she'd give us like a bag to take home. So we got the ugly spes, but it was delicious nonetheless. So I love that memory.
I bet.
And
And that's what grandmas are for,
Right.
sneaking the treats, right?
And what's tied to that memory is that everyone thinks it's my grandmother's recipe.
Oh.
Comes to find out, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I went and said, "Grandma, you need to teach me. We want to have a day with cousin and mine and I. We want to have a day with you where we make the spes."
Okay.
And so we're talking about it, and it's specific to the island my parents are from, this particular recipe. And she said, I asked her, "Where'd you get the recipe?" And she said, "Do you know what? It was your mother's recipe."
Oh.
So it turns out that my favorite dessert happened to be my mom's recipe, and I didn't know
sweet.
it, and she had already passed on. So it was another gift in the kitchen for me.
That's very sweet. Yeah. Oh, thanks
I
for
think that's one of
sharing.
my favorites.
What's some advice you have for people who are trying to eat healthier in the kitchen?
I think the number one piece of advice, no matter what, whether it's the kitchen or other healthy lifestyles, take one step at a time. We don't have to do everything all at once. There's all of everything. You know,
Yes.
there are lots of things. So if we do one thing this week and we add another one next week, depending on our pace, I think that one step at a time. And then following that is to forgive ourselves and have grace if we make a mistake, right? I don't think there are mistakes when it comes to wellness. It's just that maybe we take a step back. And wellness is not a linear progression. So giving ourselves grace and taking one step at a time, I think those are good approaches to health and wellness.
There's so much wisdom in that. Thank you, Mena.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
No, just enjoy some chocolate.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people think that it isn't healthy, or people say, "Oh, I can't," or it's guilty pleasure and that kind of thing. And I don't really believe in culinary guilty pleasures. I believe in pleasures
neither.
that are balanced, right? And so chocolate, it's about how we approach it. If we choose a chocolate that is a mainstream full of sugars and flavors and not natural fats, then that's not going to do our health any good. But if we choose one with sugars that aren't super high, so we want, for therapeutic purposes, anything 74% or higher, that would be a good quality chocolate. So chocolate is perfectly welcome in a healthy approach.
I think that's great. And you and I are certainly in alignment, especially on that point with healthy desserts. You can have the sweetnesses and those indulgences because they're satisfying on different levels. And there are healthier ways to do it. And I love that you provide so many resources for people. So how can people reach you if they want to work with you?
So I have a webpage. It's rootedinwellnesswithmena.space. So that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. And I am on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
and
for
sharing
having
this.
me.
Thank you.
Healthy living made easy. We cook it up and keep it breezy. From your kitchen to your plate, good vibes get away. Healthy living made easy. Taste the joy, it's all so cheap.